Hey everyone, what is going on? So I have another video for you today that I did on stream in the Master League, and notice anything different. The quality is really good compared to how it was. I'm using the different programs to screen mirror, and I'm really happy with it. So I think we have a little bit of hiccups in the beginning, but other than that, pretty good. Now, the team is going to be Dragonite with Groudon and Kyogre. Now, I have very limited resources when it comes to the Master League. Of course, I got the Groudon and Kyogre from the Hoenn Tour. See, as I mentioned, hiccup there, but it's not too bad. So yeah, I have very limited resources when it comes to these Master League Pokemon, but the Groudon and Kyogre I just got from the Hoenn Tour, and then Dragonite is just, I mean, Giratina had a community day, right? So I'm using this team, wanted to give it a try. So we see Giratina come in. I made a mistake. I should have went into Kyogre, but at the end of the day, I'm learning Master League. You know, it's been several seasons since I've participated. I haven't participated since the Master League Classic, and that was, I don't know, 4 seasons ago. I don't even know when it was. But let's go ahead and dive right into these battles. As we can see, I'm going to go ahead and lose the first one. Yeah, definitely tough on my end, right? My thought process was, okay, let's go ahead and throw the superpower. Maybe I could farm down with Kyogre and do something. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and throw another Dragon Claw. And that Dragon Claw is going to connect, but there's no way I can farm down. It's just unfortunate because my opponent will be able to get to 2 Ancient Powers. I'm going to let the first one go, so that's fine. And again, I really want to farm down, and I'm going for the farm down so I can have moves, but my opponent just barely makes it. I do go ahead and shield this one up because I still have a shield, but look how low I am, and look at that Kyogre. I was like, well, will 2 Origin Pulses KO? Because I go for the Origin Pulse, and Origin Pulse is really powerful, but it won't. Plus, I actually don't even make it anyway. But another one wouldn't have KO'd regardless. You know, during stream, I've had people ask, well, do you really like the triple water moves on Kyogre? And I wasn't sure how I would feel about it, but to be honest, Origin Pulse is just so strong. I love it. I love it. I love Origin Pulse. You definitely want Surf and Waterfall. So you could run Blizzard, but, you know, I think Origin Pulse works as well. But I mean, yeah, if you have Blizzard, go with Blizzard. I think Blizzard, obviously, there are situations I would have preferred having Blizzard, but either way, Lugia safe swaps are definitely difficult. What I do, or what I have been doing, is throwing an attack with Dragonite and then bringing in my Kyogre, shielding the Arrow Blast. I do correctly shield that, so which is good. So now I can farm up. I have to relearn some of these counts. I don't remember some of them. Some of them I do remember, like Groudon and Kyogre, but some of them I'm not familiar with anymore. I remember Giratina. I have to look up Dialgas, but Dialga, yeah, you know, I generally don't count Dragon Breath anyway, as I mentioned. Look how much Origin Pulse does. It almost does 50%, just under 50%. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, Origin Pulse is great. Yes, Blizzard would KO, so Blizzard would be better in that situation, but still, I mean, it's just so much damage. I was not disappointed with Origin Pulse. By the way, this is a long video. This is over a half hour, so sit back, relax, chill. We're taking a look at the mistakes I made. We're taking a look at, you know, the good games I had. We're taking a look at it all, and I did well. I mean, I went positive. I got back into the 2700s after dropping the first day of Little Cup, and yeah, did really well, as I said. Gotta keep hydrated. So yeah, my Dragonite is looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and throw another Dragon Claw. Totally fine for me. Dragonite, really impressive in the Master League. Groudon is so common. In fact, I saw a lot of Groudon and Ho-Oh leads, so it might actually be worth leading the Kyogre. But at the same time, I also saw a lot of Dialga leads as well. I'm going to go ahead and throw this attack. And this attack is going to be enough to KO the Groudon. The problem is my opponent is going to be able to get the farm down before I can get off a move. So definitely another mistake on my end throughout that game. So a couple bad games for me, but it gets better as I'm learning. As I said, I'm learning the meta. So when it comes to Dialga leads, what I've been doing is throwing Superpower and dipping if my opponent does not shield. In this case, my opponent actually does not shield, so I decided to stay in. I could have still switched. I guess maybe I should have still switched, but I'm going to go ahead and shield and take switch there. So I do beat that Dialga. Usually they shield, as you'll see in the next several battles, because I do battle Dialga leads quite often. I do get off my attack there, and I'm going to go ahead and switch. I could have saved my attack and switched out without throwing the superpower. But out comes Mewtwo. I'm going to go ahead and bait. My opponent actually calls this, which is not great for me. I had another Mewtwo later on call that as well, but I went for the Precipice Blades. So maybe it is worth going straight Precipice Blades against Mewtwo. Because it seems like trainers are calling it. They're expecting the Fire Punch. Yeah, sorry for the little bit of hiccups. I think we're having a little bit of lag. My stream was having a little bit of lag, I should say, on stream. But it's not too bad, right? It's not too bad. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let that go. Bring in Dragonite. Go for the farm down. I do barely get the farm down, and now I can bring in Kyogre. And of course, I'm going to be able to win this one because first of all, I survive an Earthquake. Second of all, I still have a shield, so I could just waterfall down. I'm going to go ahead and take that, calling the Meaty Mash. It wasn't a Meaty Mash, but at the end of the day, it does not matter. Good game, well played to my opponent. Let's go ahead and move into the next one. Dragonite into Groudon. Great matchup. Of course, Precipice Blades, Fire Punch, all resisted. We do see a switch into Dialga. Okay. So, this is fine for me. I'm going to go ahead and bait this. You actually don't need to bait. Math Magic came into the stream and said, and I didn't know this, but he said you can go straight Precipice Blades and you could just beat the Dialga. I actually didn't know that you would be able to beat Dialga if you want to, as long as you switch fast enough. So baiting this is not really necessary. I did get one shield. I'm not going to get the shield here, but that's fine because I can throw another Fire Punch. Regardless, I'm going to be able to win this matchup anyway, so I guess it's fine going Fire Punch because my opponent's going to shield out, wanting to win the matchup. But I'm going to be able to win this because I can shield and a Fire Punch will KO. So regardless, I'm going to be able to win it, but I actually let it go. That's right, I do actually let it go. Because both of my Pokemon are doing well. That's right, both of my Pokemon are doing well against... Ooh, Mammoth Swing coming in against the Groudon, right? So I can go ahead and safely go for the superpower, super effective damage, and then switch into my Kyogre. And yeah, my opponent saw the Kyogre, and they backed out ASAP. I've had people ask in chat why I'm not using a shiny Kyogre. This is the best one I had, so I went with it. I do have a shiny one. It's 15, 13, 13. I went with this one. I'm not going to raid for a Hundos. It's just not me. I'm not going to do it. If I get a hundo, great, but I'm not going to spend all those raid passes and money to try and get hundos. Okay, Dragonite into Dialga, Superpower, and then dip into Kyogre. Sometimes I try dipping into Kyogre, sometimes I try dipping into Groudon. It all depends. I'm going to go ahead and shield this Draco Media. I expect the Draco and the switch out. That's why I shield that. In comes Giratina. Obviously, in this situation, Blizzard would be ideal. And you could charge up for the Blizzard because your opponent will not know you're running Origin Pulse. And, you know, it might actually be worth having Blizzard just because I feel like a lot of Giratinas will expect Origin Pulse and not shield, as we see right now. But that still does a lot of damage, to be honest, to something that resisted like Giratina. I felt like that did a lot of damage. I'm going to bring in my Dragonite right now. And I'm going to go ahead and shield that. It's going to be a Shadow Ball, so that's a good shield on my end. Can I farm down before another attack comes in? I'm trying desperately. No, my opponent gets to the attack, but I do believe this is just going to be an ominous win as it is. So I do survive it. I could throw either attack. Well, I'm not up to a superpower, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the Dragon Claw right now. And Zacian coming in. I bring in Groudon. My opponent still has a shield. Not great for me. But that is okay. I'm just going to go ahead and go straight Precipice Blades. I do live a play rough. I live a close combat. My opponent does not shield that. They called the Fire Punch. That is huge. That is huge. My opponent is going to go ahead and go for that close combat. But I survive another one. Groudon is like the best Pokemon in the Master League with Precipice Blades. So good. But out comes Dialga. So I'm still going to lose that one. So as I said, I'm showing you all the losses, all the wins. But I did have a 4-1. I had a 3-2. I had a 2-3. So overall, I did really well. Speaking of Ho-Oh, I don't know. Did I really speak of Ho-Oh? I mean, I did mention that I've seen it in a lot. In the lead a lot. Which is true. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one. And yeah, it's totally fine. I'm going to go ahead and throw before Mewtwo gets to another attack. Will the Mewtwo shield? Probably not. Let's see if they decide to shield. They do decide to shield. And my opponent will go ahead and throw another attack, but I can go ahead and safely shield this. Now, obviously, if you're going up against Mewtwo, if they charge up the Ice Beam, you could consider shielding the first one, like I didn't. But if they charge up for Ice Beam, some Mewtwo's do carry Ice Beam, right? It is a thing. I'm going to be able to take out that Mewtwo, and I'm going to be able to take Switch. You'll love to see it. Let's see what comes in. It is going to be Ho-Oh, okay. So that's going to be really good because I do have the Kyogre on that, but Brave Bird is still going to do a lot of damage to Kyogre, and they're going to have it because they're farming down my Dragonite. So keep that in mind. Excuse me, keep that in mind. And my opponent will throw an attack. I think I take it. I do take it. Even if it's a Brave Bird, it is a Brave Bird. So as you can see, doing so much damage. Out comes the Dialga. So should be able to win this matchup now. Looking pretty good. Precipice Blades coming out. Will my opponent shield? My opponent will shield. Good call. But as I said, Math Magic let me know I can win this in even shields. I'm actually going to go ahead and take the Iron Head and save the shield because that's right. I wanted to save the shield and try to get to a Precipice Blades because I was concerned that they would get to another Brave Bird with the Ho-Oh. And now they'll be able to farm me down, but that's totally fine. So I'm going to bring in Kyogre, and my opponent will be able to throw an attack, but I do have that shield that I saved. And it's going to be a Sacred Fire. That is okay, and I do get to the surf, and I take that game. Let's go. Let's go. Good game to my opponent. So, yeah, as I said, the few sets I did do, I had a 4-1. I think, I know I had a 3-2. Did I have a 2-3, or was that another 3-2? I'm not sure, but either way, good game. Let's move on to the next one. Looking pretty good. Obviously, Giratina is weak to my attacks. We do see a switch into Metagross. I go into Groudon. I would say you definitely want to go into Kyogre here because Kyogre is resisting the Bullet Punch and Medium Mash. They really have to go for Earthquake. So I made a mistake there, but it's all good. As I said, I am relearning the Master League. It's been so long, so there's nothing wrong with making mistakes. My opponent does not shield. I didn't think they would shield, so I went straight for it. Because Fire Punch is also super effective, so they probably expect the bait, and it is a good bait if you do decide to bait. I'm going to go for another Precipice Blades. They know I have Dragonite, so I am not thinking that they will shield. I'm not going to bait. They do not shield. So much damage. Precipice Blades is broken. Oh my god, it's crazy how broken it is. So we're going to see this attack come in from the Giratina. Going to be a Shadow Ball. Not enough to KO me. I will get off a Fire Punch. If my opponent's been counting, they will know this is a Fire Punch. Good counting. I don't think they would shield anyway. Oh, Mammal Swan, you love to see it. So after I saw the Mammal Swan, I'm like, you know what? No, I guess Groudon, it was a smart decision to bring Groudon into Metagross. Obviously, I didn't know they had a Mammal Swan, though. But yeah, this is going to be a win here. Good game, well played to my opponent. Going to be able to take that one. Absolutely amazing. I'm currently working on a Lugia. Lugia is currently in raids, of course. So I do want to get a good Lugia. Well, not a good one. I have a good one. I want to get the XL candies. I have one level 40 double moved. I just need the XL candies for it, so I'm working on it. Okay. So yeah, Superpower and then Dip. I think I switch into Groudon in this one. Or do I go into... Yeah, I do go into Groudon. Which one is better to go into? Let me know what you think. Because obviously Groudon is the better answer to Dialga. So maybe going into Kyogre. Yeah, I think I do want to go into Kyogre, actually. Because they brought in Ho-Oh and... Precipice Blades does decent against Ho-Oh, actually, because it's only single resisted and it's a powerful move. That's decent damage. But maybe going into Kyogre against Dialga is probably the way to go. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and go for another Precipice Blades. Going to get the Ho-Oh low. Look at that. Look at that. That's a resisted move. Getting it very, very low. I'm just going to let the Groudon go. It's going to be a Sacred Fire. I wish I rated more for Ho-Oh, to be honest. It's so tanky, it's so good. I'm going to be able to farm down, but no, they do get to an attack, which is unfortunate. Going to go ahead and let this go. This is looking to be a loss for me. Kyogre is coming in. Out comes Zacian, okay. Let's see what I can do. My opponent is going to go ahead and throw an attack. Does my opponent have Wild Charge? I'm going to go ahead and shield. They do not. They have Play Rough, so that's fine. I'm just going to go for the Origin Pulse, expecting them to think it's a Surf and not shield. So going for that Origin Pulse, and my opponent will not shield that. You'll love to see it. So out comes Dialga. Okay, so an Origin Pulse at this range will KO. Now I go for the Surf, because they know they really don't... It would need the KO or get it very low. They don't want to take it. Oh, you love to see it. My opponent going to go ahead and throw an attack right now. Do I live a Draco Media? No, I do not. Good game. Good game. Good game. So it was pretty close. I don't know. Let's move on to the next one. Good game. Metagross. Okay, not really a good lead. I do have two answers to it. I go into the Kyogre. My opponent brings in Dragonite, which not really ideal, but we'll see how much Origin Pulse does, right? Origin Pulse still does a lot. Again, Blizzard would easily one-shot, but Origin Pulse still doing a lot. We pick up Shield as well. You love to see it. Well, you don't really love to see it, I guess. I mean, if I went for the Surf, you would have loved to see that shield, right? I don't think I can make it to an Origin Pulse. I can't even make it to a Surf, so Dragonite is going to be able to feint me. And I do bring in my own Dragonite. I remember this game now. My opponent has a lot of energy. They're going to be able to throw another Dragon Claw. Here's the other Dragon Claw. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and take it, though, because I can live it. So I'm going to go ahead and take it. I'm just hoping Groudon can do well against whatever's in the back. I do actually farm down. Very nice. I'm going to go ahead and throw the attack right now. This is going to be neutral towards the Metagross. I figured the Metagross would come in, and then I'm going to switch into Groudon, where I could just safely throw Fire Punches now. Fire Punch should be enough. Well, if it's not enough, it would get it low. It might not be enough, let's see. But either way, it should get it low. It's not enough. Barely not enough, unfortunately, so I am going to go ahead and shield. I hope Groudon has a good matchup against whatever's in the back. It's going to be Dialga, and we do have a good matchup here. I'm going to go ahead and... Do I bait? I do bait. I'm baiting the Fire Punch. I'm baiting the Fire Punch. If this is Precipice Blade to KOs, my opponent shields, and my opponent gets off an attack, it's not a Draco Meteor. I'm going to be able to live this Iron Head. I need to get to a Precipice Blades. I get to it. If Groudon never got Precipice Blades, if this was Earthquake, I would have lost this game. But Precipice Blades is going to be enough to KO. I remember when I won that game, I was like, how did I win that game? Good game. Well played. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. Dragonite to Dragonite. So we do have a mirror match. I think this is where my opponent catches a Dragon Claw. I'm going to throw a Dragon Claw immediately. I do think they catch it. They do catch it. It's going to be an Excadrill. Good catch. I respect it. But at least I have a Kyogre to punish the Excadrill. So I just farm this down. I will have to take an attack. That's fine. I could shield, I guess, but I could take it. So I'm not going to go ahead and invest the shield. I know the Dragonite will come in anyway. Although Dragonite got pretty low. Because of my Dragonite, right? So, going to be able to take care of that Excadrill. You'll love to see it. Very nice. Excadrill is interesting. I think it's okay. But it does have to watch out for Groudon and Kyogre, which got the new moves and are pretty common, especially that Groudon. I make it to the Origin Pulse. Will my opponent shield the Origin Pulse? This is going to do a lot of damage, even though it's resisted. Enough to KO the Dragonite? Are you serious? Enough to KO, now I bring in Groudon. So Groudon's just going to sweep this Metagross. Good game. Well played to my opponent. Well played to my opponent. But let's go ahead and move into the next battle. You absolutely love to see it. Dragonite into... Okay, Dialga. Not a good lead. I don't like Dialga leads. I have beaten them. But I don't really like the leads anyway. But yeah, usually Superpower and Dip. You could leave right away instead of Superpowering and Dipping. Because if you do Superpower and Dip... you're still taking a lot of damage, right, from the Dragon Breath. My opponent is going to go ahead and throw an attack. I do go ahead and shield with the Kyogre. It's going to be a Draco, so that's a good shield. What is coming in, though? Going to be Kyogre. Okay, does this Kyogre have Thunder? Well, I'm going to find out. But either way, I'm going to hit it with Origin Pulse, a powerful move, as we know. So Origin Pulse coming out. Look how much damage that did. That is freaking crazy how much damage Origin Pulse did. Origin Pulse is still real. Oh my gosh, it's so good. They're throwing Surf, so maybe they have Blizzard? It's a possibility. I'm going to go ahead and throw a Surf myself now. So this Surf is going to be not enough to KO, but I live a Surf. So my Kyogre with Origin Pulse going to be able to win against the opposing Kyogre. You'll love to see it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Dialga's coming in. Believe me, I'm a big fan. I didn't think I would be a big fan of Triple Water and Kyogre, but I actually like it. I really do. So out comes Ho-Oh. Out comes my Dragonite. That is a beautiful purified Ho-Oh. This is actually looking pretty tough, but we'll see what happens. I throw the Dragon Claw. My opponent does go ahead and shield it. I think I let it go because I'm low. Right, I need to get off Precipice Blades, Sacred Fire. I do have a Precipice Blade. Now, the thing is, Precipice Blades is single resisted. So, but two of them are still going to KO. Right, so I kind of need to get to another one. And my opponent is going to be able to throw an attack. I do have to shield this. And then I'm going to overfarm. So it's going to be a Sacred Fire. That makes sense. And I don't think the Fire Punch would be enough. If the Fire Punch would have been enough, obviously this was a mistake. But I feel like it wouldn't have been enough. But, oh my gosh, they get to an attack. If it's not Draco, I think I live the Iron Head. It's Iron Head. I live it. I get off the Precipice Blades. And that is going to be a good game. Wow. Literally barely hanging on. Great. Again, if it was Earthquake, I would have lost. Precipice Blades is so good. It's OP for sure. Dragonite into Giratina. Ooh, okay, Giratina. Definitely like this matchup. My opponent going to go ahead and switch into Dialga. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Groudon right now. And I do go ahead and shield. It's going to be an Iron Head. I think I go straight Precipice Blades. Charging up. I do go straight Precipice Blades. Again, you could bait in this situation. But I go straight Precipice Blades. They do shield. Most of the time they do shield. So I do go for another one, which will be good. And this is going to pick up the shield. And, okay, my opponent is going to throw an attack. Now, this is where Math Magic... So I don't shield, I let it go. But this is just Math... I thought they would get to another Iron Head. This is where Math Magic was in the chat and told me, no, I should be able to win the race to the Precipice Blades, as long as I'm fast on the swap. So I could have possibly shielded and won that, but... It's okay. That's not what I did. Again, it's a learning process with Master League. Bear with me. But I do get a lot of farm. And now this situation, obviously, I would love Blizzard. Because Giratina is coming in. And 2 Origin Pulses from a full health Giratina. Not going to quite cut it. It's going to come close. I mean, that does good damage. Can I get to another one? I can get to another one. Very nice. Very nice. So that is going to get it low. It almost two almost KO. So my opponent will KO me here and should be able to farm down with the Dragonite. What is in the back? Show me. Show me. Oh, it's okay. Okay, sorry, lose. GG's. So I definitely should have fought for Switch with the Groudon, right? To try and get Switch. So I would say that was a mistake, but that's okay. Good game. Moving on, Dragonite into Groudon. My opponent is going to go ahead and switch into Lugia. Lugia, definitely a tough, safe swap for me to handle. I'm going to go ahead and go for this Dragon Claw right now and then go into Kyogre, because the thing is, like, it's Groudon in the lead. Kyogre would be great, but I had to go into Kyogre against the Lugia, right? I have to. But again, Dragonite still does well against Groudon anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and farm up. Was that an Arrow Blast? I don't even remember. I didn't see it. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and throw this attack, the Surf attack, into the Lugia, KOing it. In comes Rayquaza. Oh, look how much Origin Pulse does to Rayquaza. It's absolutely insane. Rayquaza, I know, is not the bulkiest Pokemon out there, but... over 50% health. Oh my gosh. Obviously a Blizzard would KO. We know that. But still, that's resisted. Oh my... That is resisted. Like, holy cow. Okay, so... I know they have Dragon Claw and Breaking Swipe, right? I think it's Dragon Claw. I'm going to go ahead and switch out right now. I did not mean to switch out. I meant to stay in. So I would have been at more health, right? I did not mean to switch out there. I accidentally clicked on it. My bad. Take that Fire Punch. I can take another Fire Punch. So if my opponent does not charge up to Precipice Blades, I'm definitely not shielding. I'm going for the Dragon Claw right now. And my opponent is going to go ahead and throw another attack. I know this is a Fire Punch, so I'm not going to go ahead and shield that. I can take that. They can't Mud Shot me down, and that is going to be a good game. I can shield the next one and farm them down. Good game. Well played. Going to be able to take that game. Moving on, we do have Dragonite into Groudon. Ooh, you love to see another Groudon lead. Another Groudon lead. The switch into Dragonite. Okay. So, okay, I mean... It's okay to stay in here because, I have like a neutral matchup, Groudon versus Groudon, plus I have a Kyogre, right? So I could stay in here at least for now. So I'm going to go ahead and shield, try to get to a Dragon Claw, see if my opponent wants to shield. And I do get to the Dragon Claw because I am slightly ahead on energy, right? So I get off this Dragon Claw, and this is going to be enough to KO. My opponent lets it go. Beautiful. Groudon is coming in, but will the Groudon go for the farm down? I bet you they do. I'm going to go ahead and go for the superpower to help them along with that farm down because I don't want them to get that much energy. I actually shield that, which I was not expecting, but that's fine. But the only thing is Precipice Blades will do a lot to this Kyogre, right? So I think I don't shield. I think that was a mistake. I think I wanted to shield. My opponent is going to switch into Lugia. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Origin Pulse right now. This Origin Pulse is going to... Well, it's going to connect because my opponent's out of shield. So much damage. I bring in the Groudon. I need 2 Fire Punches to KO this. In fact, when I was battling this, I wasn't sure that 2 would KO. But I think it does. My opponent throws another attack. I'm going to go ahead and shield this. And so I have the 5 punches. I throw one. And I think... do I throw the other right away? I definitely shouldn't. Oh, no, I'm farming up. Okay. I probably should have went a little bit more. But I'm going to go ahead and throw the Fire Punch. And that will connect. Yeah, because my opponent has an attack. And this is going to be the Precipice Blades. That obviously KOs me. And yeah, look at this. They barely get to it. They barely get to it. So yeah, literally 1 HP. I made a mistake here. I should have farmed up more with the Groudon for sure. Yeah, they played well. What can I say? They played well. They played well. You know, maybe there was a win condition, but they played really well. Good game to my opponent. Dragonite into Dialga. So, as you know, not my favorite matchup, but we could Superpower and Dip. But my opponent actually catches on, I think, Mewtwo. I think they caught on Mewtwo. So that was a good catch. So I can bring in Kyogre now. And all I need to go for is Surf. I don't need to worry about the Origin Pulse. My opponent will go ahead and throw. I am counting the Mewtwo to make sure they do not get off another Psych Strike. I want to throw my Surf first. And I'm going to be able to do that. And this is going to be enough to KO unless my opponent shields it. Will my opponent shield it? They will not shield it. So Mewtwo goes down. Very nice. Very nice indeed. What is going to come in? Going to be a Dialga. Okay. Well, obviously that makes sense. I can't make it to Origin Pulse. I was trying to see if I could. I can't. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Surf. Some nice chip damage. That's actually a lot. That took a lot of damage. Bringing in my Groudon. So now I can safely go for Fire Punch against this Dialga, right? I'm going to go ahead and shield the Iron Head. A little bit unfortunate, but that's okay. Out comes Landorus. Okay. So here's the thing. They could go for Superpower, which is neutral, but then they're debuffing themselves and they're locked in. So I'm expecting the Stone Edge. So I don't shield and it is Stone Edge, and I've resisted. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Fire Punch attacks now. Some pretty decent damage. Throw in another one, and then I think do I switch out into Dragonite after this? I want to say I do. Yeah, I do. Okay. Trying to get it all the way down. Not quite, not quite. Oh, I remember this. I shield this, and I farm this down. It's a superpower, which is unfortunate, but whatever. So I shield that, farm down. My opponent has 2 shields, but I'm going to be able to Dragon Breath down. If they threw an Iron Head, if they had one, I probably could have Mud Shot down with Groudon. So anyway, good game, well played to my opponent. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. Dragonite into Ho-Oh. Okay, Ho-Oh in the lead. See what happens. My opponent, okay, staying in now. They could Brave Bird and Dip. We'll see, because Brave Bird will do a lot. Ho-Oh is so tanky. It's so good. It's so good. I really, really wish I rated it more. It was here recently. I only used free passes on it. But that's okay. I usually don't raid for XLs. Lugia I am, but I usually don't. But Master League is fun. I'll be honest. So I could take this even if it's a Brave Bird. If it's a Sacred Fire, it's resisted. It is a Brave Bird. I could take it. Still does a lot. Out comes Dialga, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Groudon right now. I do go ahead and shield this. Math Magic let me know that I could win with just going straight Precipice Blades. So I'm going to go ahead and just go for Precipice Blades. No reason to bait. If they don't shield, beautiful. They do not shield. They call the Fire Punch. You absolutely love to see it. Groudon coming in. Do I bait here? I actually do go for the bait, but the Precipice Blades probably KOs me, so I don't get the bait off anyway. Yeah, it does KO me. So I can bring in Kyogre. Beautiful. 4, 5. I'm counting it. They do have enough for Precipice Blades. It will do a lot of damage. I do go ahead and shield it. And it's a Fire Punch, which is unfortunate for me, but my opponent concedes anyway. Yeah, that was looking to be really good for me regardless. Good game, well played. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. Dragonite into Shiny Rayquaza. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, kind of neutral. I mean, we're both doing super effective damage towards each other. Dragon Breath, Dragon Tail. I'm going to go ahead and shield. It's going to be a Breaking Swipe. Does it have Dragon Claw, or is it like Outrage or something? I want to say it's Dragon Claw, but I don't know. I've never used the Rayquaza, so I don't know. But either way, I go for the Dragon Claw. Ho-Oh coming in. Beautiful shiny. They will be able to farm me down, but I will be able to get off this Dragon Claw right now. Very nice. One more, nope. But I do have the Kyogre, but again, we know how much the Brave Bird does. But I don't think I shield. Yeah, I don't want to give it my last shield. I do survive the Brave Bird. But they go for Sacred Fire, which I definitely survived that. So I'm going to go ahead and just go for the Surf right now. I'm surprised they didn't go for maybe Brave Bird and Dip, but maybe, I mean, it depends what's in the back, right? Brave Bird will be enough to KO me now, so I'm going to go ahead and shield it. It's going to be the Brave Bird, so good shield by me. And it's going to be, a Groudon, so I'm going to go ahead and go for my Surf attack. Will my opponent decide to shield this or not? Let's find out. They do decide to shield it. Switching in. Okay. So I know I survived with Precipice Blades. I wasn't sure if I survived with Precipice Blades plus a Fire Punch. But after seeing that damage, I think I do. So this is just a Fire Punch. I think I survive it. I do barely survive it, and I get off my own Precipice Blades right now. And this is going to be enough to KO the opposing Groudon, as we do KO it. So out comes Ho-Oh. And remember, they threw a Brave Bird, so I'm going to be able to farm down the Ho-Oh and take that win. And that is going to be a beautiful win. Very well played to my opponent. Okay, very cool. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. I do have Dragonite into Dragonite, so we do have a mirror match. My opponent will go ahead and switch into Melmetal. I'm going to go ahead and go into Groudon. After the Melmetal came in, and after I brought in Groudon, I realized, okay, it's going to be double steel. I was just hoping it was like a Metagross or an Excadrill instead of a Dialga. But if it was Dialga, it would be ABA Dragon, so I really wasn't expecting Dialga. Okay, so what I should have done, I threw the Precipice Blades at max energy. Maybe I should have taken one more superpower and threw the Fire Punch to KO, or maybe it would KO, and then they would get less farm with Dragonite. I think that would have been the way to go. Yeah, and I would have still gotten off the Precipice Blades into this Dragonite anyway, right? So I think that would have been the way to go, but that's okay. I could have thrown a Fire Punch. I was trying to make another Precipice Blades. Metagross coming in. It is double steel. You'll love to see it. Kyogre does great against Metagross. Good game. Well played to my opponent. Let's see, was that the last battle? It looks like it was. We had a pretty good day, actually a really good day. I got back into the 2700s after dropping the first day of Little Cup into the 2600s. I'll take it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.